Hi, we're back, and our next guest is going to be very interesting because he's an author, and maybe a little different type of author than you think about. It's Arsen Marsoobian.
Hi,
nice
Carol.
to have you here, Arsen.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. Congratulations on your show, by the way.
Oh, thank you much. I'm loving it.
Yeah, this is going to be this is a great venue for a lot of authors and artists in the community. So I'm very proud to be a part of this.
That's what we feel, because the talent of the artists that I know and different people, actors, wonderful, wonderful talent, and nobody hardly knows about them. So this is why we really want to do this. We want to attract people to come in and talk about what they're doing, so we get to know our artists. And you're one of our artists, so tell us what you have in mind today.
Well, I've written several books, but this one is called Beating Taxes and Cheating Death. And it really came out of my background of 35 years in the life insurance business. And so we were talking to different people about, what do you do and when do you write a book about? Well, you write a book about something that you know. Mm-hmm. And so in looking at that and then having experienced the insurance profession from an agent, and had my own general agency. I was a branch manager, and I was also a corporate executive for very large insurance companies. So it gave me a perspective to see the industry from a lot of different levels. From how do they build a contract? How do they build a policy? How do we do the marketing for the concept itself? And then as I traveled around the country, I was a regional sales and marketing director, and so I had an opportunity to travel all over the United States and work with agents in all those different states, which was fascinating. But the common theme was that life insurance is confusing, and so I tried to simplify the entire process. That's what the book is about. It's a very small book. It's less than 100 pages. And so one of the things we really wanted people to get out of that is, one question is, how much insurance should I buy? So number one question is, what's too much and not enough? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people will say many times, I'm worth more dead than I am alive. and so I got plenty of insurance. Well, so we have a formula in the book to really measure what is enough. What is that formula? So there's a formula in the book to show people how to really gauge that, so before they contact an agent or get to somebody, they have something in their mind already as to what they are going to need.
That's great.
And good to do that. And the other thing is, people don't understand is that life insurance is a contract, Carol. And so if you wrap your mind around the fact of what is a contract that you're going to make with another party, each party has to identify in the contract what they're going to do. In this case, the life insurance company promises to pay. So the front page of almost every policy will say that we promise to pay the X amount of dollars, whether it's a $50,000 or a $50 million policy, they make the commitment to pay that. Mm-hmm. Your commitment then is to continue to pay the premiums and the policies and to follow the rules within the guidelines. Now the nice thing about a contract is that it can't be broken. And the importance of that is that in the contract you are going to identify how and who receives the money upon your death or upon your living.
Right.
And if it's a contract, it can't be overturned. So if it goes to probate, or you get somebody in the family says, he didn't leave me enough, she didn't leave me enough, then the insurance company is obligated to pay the people in the manner in which you tell them to pay it, because it is a contract. They're obligated to do that. And a lot of people don't take that serious when they write down who the beneficiary is going to be.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
If you got an insurance policy and you don't have any relatives to leave the money to, are you allowed to donate that money to an organization, or does it have to be a person?
It's a very good question. A very good question. And charities, and one of the things to talk about in the book is how to be a philanthropist without being a millionaire. So people can use the magic of life insurance and the benefits of that to leave a legacy to their favorite church, synagogue, charity, or whatever. And just by simply signing the contract in the name. And there's several different ways that you can structure that. And you can work with your local charity. Most of them do have development directors that can guide people through that process. You can make it something as simple as taking out the policy and making them the beneficiary and paying the premiums. You can make a contribution to the charity and then have them buy the policy. So there's different ways that it can be worked out. And one benefit we talk about in here, one of the things I say is, how can you take a tax deduction for capital gains? And so when people say, well, I have a capital gains, I've had this stock, and it's appreciated, and I bought Coca-Cola stock when it was 10 cents, and I was, whatever, and so you've made millions of dollars. But Uncle Sam is looming there waiting for his share at 28%. And if you don't want to do that, what you can do is that you can gift that stock to your charity and take a deduction for the gift that you're going to give to them. And then instead of disinheriting the family from that money, you take out a life insurance contract for the same amount of the gift. And so now the money goes to your heirs, income tax free. So there's no capital gains on the transfer of those funds. The charity has benefited because you've made a sizable and a really nice gift to them. They'll be very appreciative of that.
I think so.
And then and where does the premiums come from? The premiums comes from the tax savings that you're not having to pay on that capital gains.
It's a little confusing, but that's why we have the book.
That's all. Yeah, it's explained in the book. That's a quick answer to a long discussion. But yes, you can use life insurance to take care of a charity.
That's fantastic. This is something I think most everybody would need, because we all have questions about that, and to have it written down by somebody who really knows what they're talking about, that's really something.
Thank you, Carol.
So this book everybody should have a copy of this.
Well, you have a signed,
I have mine.
A signed copy, and I hope that you will enjoy that. But it was a lot of fun to put it together. There's a bonus chapter in there. I got a bonus chapter in the book. I didn't mention it on the cover, but one is, how do you select an agent to work with?
Oh, that's important.
And then the second thing is, as you can see behind my name is the letter CLU. And then you'll see CFP, or you'll see CHFP, CHFC. Most people have no idea what those mean.
Sure.
We know what a CPA is, and we know what an MD is, and we have. So in the back of the book, I have outlined the definition of each of those letters and what they have to do in order to have those letters behind their name.
Oh, that's nice.
And that was taken right out of the American College directory, so that people can see what courses the individual has to take in order to have the letters behind their name to qualify for that. And so I hope they take the mystery out of some of those things for you. So an agent comes to you and says, I'm a CFP. What does that mean? You'll be able to go to the book, take it out, look at the back, and see exactly what they had to go through to get those initials behind their name.
Well, that's really interesting. There's all kinds of authors, but the authors who do factual books and educational and training books are just as important as the people who write novels for entertainment. In fact, probably more important. Anyway, Arsen, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Very interesting. And we'll be back in a few minutes.
Thank you.